isn't that because the coins are not worth anything? For instance, now you mentioned that if you go to a supermarket, if you have some change left, what you get is a sweet. But now the average price of one sweet is about 5 naira. Not even 1 naira, not anymore. So, I mean, if I'm carrying around one naira coin, isn't that the reason why they have now decided to increase the denomination? So, the reason why it didn't sell then was because 1 naira could not really buy one item that was worth anything in our economy.
But that didn't obviate the need for you to collect your change. If you go to the petrol station, for instance, and you buy you fill your tank, and you should collect maybe 96 naira. Then they give you 95 naira. You are compelled to leave the remaining.
They don't even give us. Give us first, and let's refuse it. But they don't give.
Now, look, these are the things that the CBN should be doing. Let us. I was on the program when these coins were being introduced. I thought it was an opportunity for these confectionery manufacturers and all those places to really buy into this and produce lower denomination packages. You know, where children would just come, buy 1 naira, 2 naira, whatever. Do you have anything like that now? And so if you now go ahead and coin these other notes, people who are talking of the thing promoting inflation are just stating it in another way. Because Nigerians have become virtually averse to coins, you discover that the lowest selling things will now be 100 naira. Because nobody takes the coins from you. And that's what people are saying, that, you know, that it will fuel inflation. Not that it will fuel inflation the way you define inflation, but it's because...
Theoretically.
Theoretically, but in practice, the fact is that you won't be able to buy anything any longer with.
Okay, that brings this point, because, I mean, because of some of these arguments that have been pushed forward, we hear people talk about the fact that CBN should... now, you should tell us about that. They've got a research department.
Sure.
And one would have thought that these are the kind of issues they should have hit the streets with. Do a market survey or analysis and find out what will sell. What would the people rather do? Because yes, in theory, you can have your perfect practices, your perfect theories, but in practice, is it how do you call it? Is it amenable to practice? Applicable?
Precisely. In fact, that's what I look at the cashless thing. When they started out, it was 150 naira. The maximum was 150. Then after a while, it was increased to 500,000. One would have thought that before you came out with such a policy, there are research people who go to the markets. They should have been able to determine what the average maximum withdrawal per person is in a day. You know, then you now go ahead and, you know, stipulate that. But we had a situation where you had 100, 150, then okay, some two weeks later, I mean, maybe a month later, it was increased to 500,000. Okay. And incidentally, this same cashless policy was supposed to really be a test run in Lagos. By 2013, it was supposed to go all over the country. Now we have been told that that's been suspended now.
Wow.
You know, well,
how did they used to work? I mean, how did it work in your time in CBN, the research department? How did they go?
No, that's the issue. No, the research department they had representations in virtually all the states, and they went to the market. They collected this. The Office of Statistics should also be able to assist in this too. They collected data, came back to the office, and, you know, analyzed this, and that will inform what policies the CBN should come out with. But it seems that somebody just wakes up today and then, oh yeah, we are going to do this, and that's where we go. Like I've said, what the CBN should be doing is how to really, the value of your currency is determined by your productivity. Nigeria is a consumer nation.
So we should focus on what? Manufacturing, getting that sector working?
For instance, I've always advocated, wherever I have got to speak, that we should go ahead, for instance, and have more refineries in this country. So that you'll be exporting refined products.
That's deregulating the industry.
Well, if they want to deregulate, but it doesn't have. Look, for now, the issue really is that the infrastructure for private involvement in refining is not there. Even the pipeline that the government itself put there is being vandalized. When the government is the one providing, so when you now, who is the private individual you want to go and ask to provide these pipelines? The government should still go ahead. Look, we have so much money that's being wasted. instead of talking of this subsidy thing, why don't, even it means having to borrow money to build refineries, then the Bible itself says that it's a lazy person who does not roast his game, that the diligent person values his possessions. Nigeria does not value his, our rulers don't value our possessions. Look at our children coming out of school, no job, nothing. If we have up to 20 refineries in this country, it's not too many. There are countries that don't produce a drop of oil and that have refineries.
What then should the CBN do about currency security and patent if we say they should not go ahead with this project here?
Look, like I said, is this something that we need at this point in time? Why do you want to commit 40 billion naira to this, I won't say useless, needless exercise? We don't need this exercise now.
No,
but are you sure that we thoroughly understand the argument of the CBN for, as to why they have decided to introduce it?
They said it's the best practice. But we are talking of best practices. But there are things that actually we should look at our own environment.
This best practice does not matter to you here, even though you've worked in the CBN. You don't think
the best practice in those days? Look, there are things that are being done now that would never have happened in my own time, and we are saying that. Look at the research department that we're talking about. The research department will have done a lot of this field work, and then they will come up with, before the CBN came out with a policy. I mean, it will have taken a lot of, what the impression one gets now is that a lot of these things are not being given deep thought. They just wake up someone drunk and then they will come and inflict this on us.
But isn't that because we haven't listened to them? They're just about to embark on their sensitization, if what the reports that we see in the papers are anything to go by. They're about to embark on a roadshow and we haven't listened to what the arguments are.
Excuse me, I just told you had a poll of Nigerians. And what did that poll, what did it show? That over 90% of Nigerians are opposed to it. Some were in different things, at least those who actually responded. Over 90% were opposed to this thing we are talking about. Let's do this thing for us. So if all of us, if 90% of Nigerians are opposed to it, why do you want to ram it down our throat by going ahead? How do you now convince us against all these practical things we are seeing, that this thing you want to do is for our benefit?
Maybe we'll take another poll after the roadshow and see how it does. Don't you think? Yes. I mean...
No, look, they have told us there are reasons for doing this. And all of us know that these reasons are just self-serving. They want to award contracts. To go and they've already shortlisted some people they want to, and that is the issue. What's in it for me? That's the way we look at things in this country now. Because there's absolutely. Why do you think of this type of project at this time?
No, Chamberlain raised a very important point.
Right.
I mean, even though we haven't quite heard that from the authorities, but there is this issue of patent and ink, and how some people just got patent for their ink, which is used in our money, and are possibly about to increase tariffs. So we're looking for how to restructure our currency so that we do not become, subject to whatever their whims and caprices might be. You don't think that could actually be a potent reason?
Yeah, I'm making it easier for the person who obtained the patent now. And that, if he is able to print one note, it comes up to 5,000 naira. Rather than...
No. I think what that means is that it will cost us more if we continue this way, because we may have to pay for patency or for patents. But if we change from what the CBN argues, we'll drop that, and it costs us a lot less. And even the volume of what you have to print reduces also.
Why do we still talk of the volume of currencies that we are talking about when we are already pursuing this cashless thing?